Leicester will win the league. I have no words. I love how the guy under it goes, well, we just beat MK Dons 4-0, so this one's looking likely. I've spent the last 5 months going back in time. Great Scott! Unearthing football predictions from the deepest, darkest pits of the internet. And the results were shocking. Some of the best being Nostradamus level predictions. Football Time Machine. Welcome, guys. We're rebranding the predictions videos because, quite frankly, I'm sick of saying football predictions. So Football Time Machine, that will be the blanket cover for all these videos going forward, and hopefully we can expand from that because it's getting a little bit. Some of these predictions from today's video are as old as 10 years old, so let's see how predictable football really is. Let's get right into this.
And 2, please.
Red Bull buys a major stake in an English team. One guy says RB Dons, the other guy says RB Derby, and then the King of Ghana says Leeds. Of the 3 teams that were put down, the Spurs fan was bang on the money. This year, Leeds, are sponsored now by Red Bull. Literally this year. So 7 years later. This guy predicted that in 2017. That's a full-on just random prediction as well. I wonder if the King of Ghana predicts if Spurs are going to win any trophies this season. Di Maria will seriously piss some people off with decent performances at PSG. Man United fans will hate to hear it, and it's exactly the same as what's going on right now, but it's a career-ending move going to Man United. And what did Di Maria do when he went to PSG? He went back to playing at a world-class level. Di Maria is such an underrated player. He's probably one of the best we'll see of our generation. Did it over such a long time as well. But the fact that the blip in his career was at Man United, I think tells you that they're the problem. He's come out and said afterwards he hated living in Manchester, never mind playing for Man United around that time, because they were in the dumps. Barcelona will become the first team to win the treble back-to-back. Barcelona were good at that time, but hearing things like that sounds like what Arsenal fans are like now. Barcelona fans rightfully could have said that. That was probably one of the best teams in modern times. Arsenal fans say things like that nowadays. And what have they won? A dinner plate. Bayern will win the league. And the guy under says, I've actually got 500 kroner on Leverkusen to win the Bundesliga this year. And the guy under says, well, that's 50 euros down the drain. I absolutely love that Leverkusen finally got over that line. Did it in ridiculous fashion as well, never losing. But for just one time in the past 15 years, someone other than Bayern won the league. Bayern look like they're back to their best on the company, so they'll probably win the league again this season. But for a short moment last season, it was fun to see that Leverkusen actually finally did something about it. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will outscore Sterling. Does he mean Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or does he mean Gibbs? Benteke, top goal scorer. Benteke was one of the most prolific goal scorers in the end of the Barclays era. Like, if you're talking Barclays men, Benteke was one of those guys. He was that guy. For people to suggesting that Benteke, top goal scorer, his competition around that time was that one season wonder Harry Kane and Kun Aguero. That says a lot about what Benteke was offering around that time. Failed to justify his price tag with a 35 goal plus season. Gareth Bale is one of the most underrated players of his generation, I would say, for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Maybe people weren't watching him. They slander his ability. Bale was one of the most explosive, impressive players I've ever seen play football. Such a unique build in a player, and was so clutch in so many games, never mind the Champions League final bicycle kick. I think he did justify his price tag. I don't know whether he ever got a 35 goal plus season. He must have. He scored. He definitely racked it up in that BBC front line. Chelsea to finish 4th or lower, just after winning the Premier League. Chelsea are such a weird yo-yo club. They'll win the league, finish 10th. Win the Champions League, finish 12th. Win the league, finish 10th. Just why? Don't know. No one else does that. I mean, did Leicester? No, Leicester didn't even do that when they won the league. It's weird for a club like Chelsea to do that. Does that tell you something about this current Chelsea? I think they could shock a few people in the 24-25 season. Suarez will be the top goal scorer in La Liga, but Messi posts 30 goals and 30 assists. Suarez was the top goal scorer in the 15-16 season with like 40 goals. Probably his best season ever. 40 goals. That's just ridiculous. And Messi did go on to have like a 30 goal and 20 assist season. So this guy was pretty spot on. He knew his club around that time. Suarez had a higher peak at Barcelona than R9 and somehow left with a legacy which was tainted by them just not even wanting him at the club. So he went on to Atletico and won the league with them. If that's not a massive fuck you to the club, then I don't know what is. Barcelona clearly really poorly run around that time. Ipswich Town will win the Premier League. Well, 9 years later, Ipswich are finally in the Premier League. They could definitely fight to stay in the Premier League this season. And if we know anything about miracles, like Leicester, they fought to stay in the Premier League in 14-15, and then they won it the season after. So, Ipswich fans, the Tractor Boys have some hope. Chris Smalling will make Team of the Year. The fact that Gabriel and Saliba are being compared to Carvalho and Terry and Vidic and Ferdinand is a sign of recency bias. There are like 4 or 5 other defensive partners in the Premier League in the past 10 years who have only conceded around 20 goals in a Premier League season. One of them being Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, I'm pretty sure. If that's not a sign of recency bias, I don't know what is. Mane will be top scorer and Arsenal will win the league. I don't think Sadio Mane ever ended a Premier League season as top goal scorer, but he definitely ended a season as the best player in the league. Or if not in the world. Chris, why are you laughing? I feel like this guy should definitely buy Electric Echo's a Mane shirt because he was pretty close. Hipster Team of the Year, Valencia. That does beg the question, we should have like a Hipster Team of the Year award because who are the Hipster Team of the Year today? Like last year, probably Atalanta. I mean, Brighton 2 years ago, definitely Hipster Team of the Year. They've got Crystal Palace last year, were a pretty good Hipster team. Let me know in the comments who you think the Hipster Team of the Year is this year. Fabregas is still the most overrated player in England. Fabregas overrated. That's just jealousy right there. Fekir will score a hat-trick against the biggest team of our Champions League. Is it Nabil Fekir? Proper Streets won't forget baller. Arab-French generation, absolutely love him. Such a baller, Streets won't forget. Schweinsteiger will have an unremarkable season as predicted, and he'll be second choice to the curly-haired Judas. Curly-haired Judas, aka Marouane Fellaini, was one of the best Man United players around that time. He feels like a Barclays player. He was just such a hold-up man, wind-up merchant, and just big bastard in that midfield, sometimes even striker for Man United. Marouane Fellaini definitely goes down in the Barclays Hall of Fame for me. Jackson Martinez will lead Atletico back to the top of La Liga, as well as check for Arsenal in the Prem. Jackson Martinez is a proper Streets won't forget baller. Absolutely loved playing with him and his Porto card on like FIFA 14. Such a baller. In terms of Czech playing well for Arsenal, definitely not. That was around the time where Arsenal kept buying ex-Chelsea legends and it just not working out for them. Leicester will win the league. I have no words. I love how the guy under it goes, well, we just beat MK Dons 4-0, so this one's looking likely. You won't see anything like this again, so watch it, drink it in. That is one of the best predictions I've ever seen. Inter will challenge Juve for the title in the 14-15. Well, Inter eventually came back in about 16-17, so they did. And Mitrovic scoring 15 goals for Newcastle feels like a fever dream. Mitrovic playing for Newcastle, same with even Tony, just doesn't really feel right. Neuer will win the Balon d'Or. We don't really have sweeper defenders anymore because we have sweeper keepers like Neuer. Redefining a position, winning a treble, or winning a like 5 trophies around 2014, and then winning Germany the World Cup. I feel like the guy probably did deserve a Balon d'Or. Messi will become right-footed. I mean, I know he's left-footed, but he's pretty much right-footed. Yaya to get his birthday cake. Yaya never got his birthday cake, and that's why he cursed Man City. He decided to put a curse on them. And 10 years later, when he decided to publicly talk about the matter, the curse may have seemingly lifted because Man City, what did they do? Go on and win the Champions League last year. So Lampard scores on us at the bridge. Lampard did score against Chelsea. It just was written in the stars. PSG to eliminate Barca from the Champions League. That was nearly the case. But Barcelona had other ideas. Neymar. Thank you so much for watching. There are plenty more predictions I can get into in these videos, so let me know in the comments if you're enjoying this series, and if you enjoy them, I'm going to keep making them. Peace.